right, first grade. Last time we were here, we drew and traced over and added our polka dots to our pumpkins. Today, it's all about the paint. So the watercolors I gave you have all the colors in them. But today, because we are using our primary colors to make secondary colors, I should not see you using purple, green, and orange. You are going to be making your own versions of those colors. So to start with, you're gonna pick what color you want your pumpkin to be. If you want a purple pumpkin, you're gonna be using your reds and your blues. If you want a green pumpkin, you're gonna be using your yellow and your blue. And if you want an orange pumpkin, you're gonna be using red and yellow. I'm gonna start by getting my brush wet. Remember, this is your friend, Mr. Whiskers. He's like your pet. You wanna keep him safe and happy. To keep him safe and happy, you have to treat him nicely. So very gently, you're gonna get color number 1. And start painting in one section of your pumpkin. So because I trace with my magic marker and I use Sharpie, I can go right over top of my polka dots and just tiptoe like a ballerina up on the edges around my grass because I don't want the red to get into my grass. And then I can fill in some sections and just make some funky lines of red in here. It doesn't have to be fully painted red. Because remember, I'm trying to make an orange. So I'm gonna do the hula and my water turns slightly pink because it's a light red, and I'm gonna get my yellow next. Yellow's kind of a wimpier color, so you wanna really pet the color to get a lot of yellow on there. And now I'm gonna take this red, or the yellow that's on my brush, and put it right over top of my red, and you're gonna see the pumpkin's color changes. And because I had those funky lines of red in there, they overlap and some parts look darker than others, which make it look like a real pumpkin. Isn't that beautiful? But my brush is thirsty. It's not working so good anymore. So I need to get more water. So I do the hula, clean off my brush, get more yellow, and then I can come back in and finish that section. Take it one section at a time. One section at a time. And right now we're only gonna be worried about the things happening in our pumpkin, okay? So if I wanted to do some more sections, I can get red. Maybe this time I'll make it even redder. So I'm gonna fill in more of those white spaces. I wanna be careful by tiptoeing next to this black line so that I don't accidentally get any red in the part I already painted. And because I'm trying to keep this symmetrical, I'll make the other side a nice bright red as well. So if you need more paint on your brush, you just get a little bit more water, cut the color a little bit more, and I'm gonna put that paint on there. I do the hula because I have red on my brush and I want the yellow that's in my paint to stay yellow. So I'm gonna pet the color, and then I'm gonna lay this down over top, and look at that beautiful, more of a reddish orange that I got in that section. Do the hula again because I need to get yellow for the other side. And start painting and layering my color. So the idea is I'm making my own orange, and it looks beautiful. Maybe this time I'll start with the yellow in this section, in my last pumpkin section. And then maybe I'll put just a tiny bit of red on top. The problem with putting the red on top is sometimes it can mix and get too dark too fast. So just be careful, you only need a tiny touch. If you look at what I did the hula, and I touched just the tip of my brush to the red, so I can just put a tiny amount of red on there. Let's see, I think leaves are generally green, so this is a great opportunity for me to mix different colors together. So I'm gonna use green, but I have to make my own. So I'm gonna put down some blue first. Remember, you don't have to paint every white section at first because you're gonna use some color mixing. And then maybe even my grass down here could be a fun green. So I'm gonna start by putting some blue on my paper first. I like to use that dry brush where you're just spreading the color out. I do the hula, and look, my colors are changing. And now I'm going to grab my yellow. And remember, yellow is a wimpy color, just like before. Very carefully, I'm gonna start to put my yellow to fill in those white sections, and look what's happening. That yellow and that blue are mixing together and making the most beautiful neon green. Oh my gosh. That looks so different than the green that's in the palette. It looks even better, I think. Do the same thing. Clean your brush off, get your yellow, go back, and start mixing with your grass. Look at that beautiful color I'm starting to get. I like how you can see some parts are darker than others. As long as there's no white spaces in my section, I am good to go. You might be thinking, Mrs. Hobbs, we're running out of space for our purple. Well, we have a couple different sections left. Maybe I want to make a purple stem of my pumpkin, or even maybe make a purple sky. So the idea is that you are color mixing. Now, if you have a big section like my sky, I think I'm going to go with a purple sky. You want to start with the color you think is going to look better. I'm going to start with this blue again and paint a small section at a time. So I'm going to do maybe one side, and remember you can leave a little bit of white spaces. And remember I can paint right over top of my little vine. So I'm only going to paint this side first. I'm going to leave some white, do the hula, come in and get my red, and then my red and my blue are mixing to make my purple. If I need it to be more purple, I do the hula, get more red, and I can put more red, and I'm just spreading that color around. In a big section like this, you kind of have to move fast because it's going to start to dry really quickly. But you don't want to sit here and go over the same spot over and over and scrub at it, because you can see I'm starting to actually destroy Mr. Whiskers. He's got a bad hair day, but I'm also going to possibly tear a hole in my paper. So you want to try to lay your colors down quickly and then move to the next section. Then when I've done that section, I can start on my other sections that I want to make that purple color as well. So we're painting our pumpkins using our primary colors to make our secondary colors. And I think they look even better. Now, if for some reason you put too much red down like Ms. Hobbs just did, think about it. How could I make that look more purple? Well, I could always go back and put a little bit more blue on my brush, and voila, it turns back into a beautiful violet purple. Unless I like that purpley pinkish purple, I might like it. The trick is to clean your brush between your colors. Now, if you want a brown stem, there is a way to get brown. You have to mix all your colors together. So start with a little blue. Do the hula, get a little red. And it looks very much like my sky. But now that third primary color on top, look at that beautiful brown neutral color I have just made. And my pumpkin looks complete! How beautiful! Happy color mixing!